G'day everybody, welcome to Mobility Engineering's Q&A sessions with Ali Akbarian, your resident road safety expert. Thank you very much for sending in your questions. We love getting those questions. Please keep them coming. And as I always say, hit that subscribe button that looks like my lovely subscribe pillow here, somewhere down there, and help us with your love and support to get to 1,000 subscribers. All right, so into today's question. So today's question is around wheelchair lifters and loaders. We've had a question come in from an OT, basically who's got a client and they've got a big power wheelchair they need to move and they need to lift it in and out. They are themselves not going to be in the chair when they're traveling. They can transfer in and out, which is fantastic. But basically they need a lifting and storage solution for their wheelchair. Previously, they were thinking about big ramps that go into a van and they can tie it down, but now they're wondering if they can have a more standard everyday vehicle. And it all depends, the answer is yes, but it all depends on the wheelchair and the type of transfer and the type of ability that you want. So the first one, which I've got the back of the boot of the Holden Commodore here, the first type is your wheelchair like arm type loader, and that's one that I've got here that I've pre-prepared is basically like this one here. So this particular product here would normally sit in the corner of the boot of your vehicle. Just click that in place, lock it in place like so. It would normally mount somewhere into the corner, and this particular solution is the neatest when it comes to traveling around because you've got a nice small car you can fit it into, so it's easier for driving and it's nice and compact, and you can get people in the back. So in that respect, it's a pretty inclusive type of conversion. However, it's the most restricted and the most limited. There's a lot of constraints with the height and the width and the clearances to go through in order for you to get the wheelchair in. And I've got a video, and I'll put a link below that we made with Amin on how to measure up your vehicle, so it gives you some ideas. But in general, this is possible, it's just very tight. The other thing is also with the abilities, this particular device requires a lot more sort of interaction and manual handling as well. So if you have a look here, the way I'll just show you what I mean when I unload it, and there is sort of nothing, I guess, dodgy about this installation. This is a standard installation. It just shows you that this is how these things work. So if I want to lift it up, what I need to do to unload it is to lift it up. So I'll use my remote, lift it up like so. And as you can see, as soon as I lift it up, I haven't touched it, it starts to sway around a bit, right? And it's just because of the weight of it, and we've got a moving arm, and also even if I'm on an angle, this might sort of swing towards the angle. So in that respect, it might swing around, it might hit your vehicle and damage the vehicle, but it also requires you to have the strength to hold it and help it come out. So I've lifted it up a little bit, and then what I want to do is I want it to come out. But I can't just let it go and let it come out because it'll start to hit things. It'll start to hit the car, or it'll start to hit other things. So I've always got to hold it, and I've got to help guide it out, right? So in this case, I've just got to help guide it out. In some cases, if you've got a small wheelchair and you're lucky, it might just go straight in. But in most cases, especially in today's day and age, the wheelchairs are getting pretty big. You do need to basically have it quite clear. So in this case, I've got to have it all the way out here. It's extremely close to my car, so when it's going down, if I want to, if I let it go, I might hit my car and scratch the car. So what I've got to do is I've got to hold it, and I might need to push it away from the car a little bit. Again, this is just standard practice with these kind of lifters for a big base like this, right? So we drop that down, and then we let go of it and we undo it and we do it all up and away we go. So that's sort of the way one of these crane type arms work. So it's possible to do, and it's great, and it's compact. It's got those advantages, but the disadvantage is you do need to be holding it, you do need to be assisting it, and it is very limited to the size of the wheelchair because the wheelchair has to be small. Often you have to fold it down and compact it. So what we find is, in a practical point of view, people love this and they love it because it means they have to keep their car, they get to keep their car in a lot of the cases. But from a practical point of view, we find a lot of people then don't really like them in the long term, and they want to change them for something easier. They might get a bigger car or something like that. So if you look at this particular vehicle, we have another option on that, and this one here has got a tow bar, like if you see where my foot is pointing down there. And so if you want to use a tow bar, what you can also do is you can use this particular ramp over here, and this is like a trailer. So if I actually flip this up like so, you'll see there's a number plate there, and the reason why there's a number plate there is this actually connects via the hitch straight to the back of that vehicle. It's called a Bruno Chariot. It's a wonderful device, and it is awesome. It's fantastic. So basically the way it works is I drop my platform down, and this is connected to the outside of the vehicle and on the back of the vehicle. So I've dropped that down like so. And then I just grab my wheelchair, just unlock it. Get our wheelchair there. And we lift it up. And then what we're going to do is we will strap it in. I'm not going to show you how to strap it, and I'll wait for it to get up before I talk any further. Alright, so this particular product has a 160 kilo capacity, lifts it nice and easily. What you would do here is you basically take your straps all the way across, hook them on. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to unload it in a minute for the next lifter. But basically that's how this works, and this sits on the outside of the vehicle on the back and is supported by the wheels, which is wonderful. So it means you can pretty much tow it behind any vehicle, and it's really easy to use. You just drive the chair on, you pull it up and you strap it on at this level, so you don't need to bend down or anything like that. And then basically when it's coming down, you just push the button and effectively just drops down in the same way that it went up. Then once we're down on the ground, all we do is we just take our wheelchair off and wheel it off, and we can even wheel it forwards if we want, or backwards, because it's a multi-directional ramp. And while we're on the topic of Bruno, we'll show you the next product, which is the Bruno Joey lift. Now, if you have it, and we've got to use our imagination here, but this particular stand here, this is simulating the back of like a SUV type or a wagon type vehicle. So if you have a look here, it's kind of like the lights of the vehicle and the back window. So this particular device is called the Joey lift, and it's more suitable for either a van or a smaller van like a Kia Carnival or a Volkswagen Caddy. We have fitted them into a Holden Commodore, but they're very, very tight, and you do have to push the back seats down and you won't be able to use the back seats. However, whilst it does take up a lot of room, this product is probably the easiest to use product for lifting and loading your wheelchair. Basically what you do is you bring your chair in like so, hit your brakes once again, and we might need to just fold them down so we get access through roof clearance. And we've got a remote there, and basically all we do is just push it up. And it goes nicely into the boot of your vehicle. Super easy to use. Magnetic remote. And then what I would do is I just basically bring my straps through, hook them on like so, strap through, hook it on like so, and just click that on there. Click that on there, and we just close the boot of our vehicle, right? So super easy to use, up, in, wonderful lifter, again 160 odd kilo capacity, like all the lifters there. So it's a wonderful product, nice and easy to use, straight on, straight in, and away it goes. So that's 3 different types of options for different basically applications, different uses, different people, different abilities. And hopefully it gives you an idea of the various options out there. You're not just limited to an old-fashioned ramp or into a van. You've got lots of different options depending on your use, your ability, and your budget. So hopefully that helps. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for your questions. And as I always say, hit that subscribe button and keep those questions coming in, and we'll see you next time.